Hello, in this video I'm going to show you how to do a single rib stitch on your Gallery London S-Loom. Now rib stitch is great to use for like a brim of a hat. I know it's hard to see on this one. This is a single rib stitch. It gives a nice stretchy edge and a wonderful finish to a project. Okay, now it's actually really simple to do your rib stitch. All it is knits and purls. And I'm just using the E-wrap, which will E-wrap a peg. I'll work a couple rows with you. Each row is done the exact same. So you purl a peg and you'll E-wrap a peg. You will purl a peg, E-wrap a peg. Oops. And you do this for the entire project. Now it does help if your cast on that you're using is an even number. If you're doing something in the round, or if you're going to do a flat panel that you will turn into a circular panel, then you need to make sure it's an even number. If you're using a loom that does not have an even number, what you'll want to do is you want to make sure that the doubles are purls. And what that means is, let's say we went all the way around our loom and we got back to this peg and this one was an E-wrap, but let's say this one was going to be an E-wrap as well, so you'd have two E-wrap stitches together on one spot of the entire loom. You'd want to adjust that so that you'd have two purl stitches together, because the purl stitch is tighter and smaller than the E-wrap stitch. So your purl stitch will actually shrink up to where it's barely noticeable. But you go down, you do your purls, and then you go back down, take your E-wraps off. You can do both of these at the same time if you want. For me, I just like to wait and do it after. You just got to make sure each row is the same. And I want this panel to lay very flat, so I'm skipping my first peg of each row, which that one was a purl, so this is an E-wrap and a purl. I'll go down to the end of this row working with you as well. And this is all you do. Now you don't have to worry about, if you're wanting to use this in a project, the cast on and cast off does not matter. Whatever the cast on you would use for a hat, which my personal favorite cast on for a hat is the crochet cast on. Love the crochet cast on. Now the cast offs I would recommend if you're doing, even if you're doing a blanket. For the most part, I use the crochet cast on for about every project I do, just because it has such a wonderful finish to it, and you don't have any of those like awkward loops hanging down. It's a very nice finish, and it gives it a better, more professional, advanced look to it. Cast-offs, if you're doing like a scarf or a blanket, I would do either the crochet chain cast-off or the super stretchy cast-off. There are videos for all of these available. If you're doing a hat, I would do either just a pull string cast-off, or there's a pull string variation cast-off that you can find on my channel as well. That's all there is to it for the rib stitch. So I will work this down a bit just so you can see how it will look on this, because the item I tried to show you really didn't show it very good. This is how the single rib stitch looks. If you want it to be thicker, just use a thicker yarn, or you could switch your E-wraps to the knit stitches if you're wanting to use a worsted weight yarn. But this is how it looks, and it's very stretchy, and it's one of the stitches that wants to shrink back up to its original shape. So that's why it's so nice to use for the brim of a hat.